Hello everyone, this is Trisha. I'm coming at you with a kind of like a new series that I'm going to be doing, and it is a K12. I don't know if you've heard of K12. K12 is like a online public school for homeschool, and I'm going to be doing kind of like a week, like a weekly, maybe weekly to 2 weeks, like kind of just letting you guys know what how I'm feeling, how things went throughout the week. So this will be my first video. This is the first week. My son is in Transitional Kindergarten. He started August 31st, and that was on Tuesday, and today is Saturday. So he started for Transitional Kindergarten. Transitional Kindergarten is kind of like a pre-kindergarten. If your birthday is not before either September 1st or September 2nd, then in the California law, you can't start kindergarten until you are 5 years old. He's not 5 years old yet. He turns 5 September 11th. So he is starting the transitional kindergarten, or he has started the transitional kindergarten program, and he will be doing like a 2-year kindergarten. So next year, 2016, he will be a kindergartner. So that's how that is in California. I don't know how that is in other states, but you have to be 5 by a certain time in order for you to start kindergarten, which he was not. So he has a late start, but it's okay. So I just wanted to go on and just let you guys know, like, kind of not like each day, but just kind of exactly what we, like, not exactly what we did, but like kind of like the things that, the different topics that we went over throughout the week. So the first day was August 31st, and it was probably like the worst day ever because I had a bad headache. My son really wasn't cooperating at the beginning. He really didn't want to do it. This is his first time in school. He wasn't in any kind of preschool or any of that. So he was not really, I've taught him things, but he was not really in the mood to be doing it. So it was kind of hard at first. It was, are we done yet? 4 years old, your attention span is not really that long. So he kind of had a little bit of problems, and I had a headache, so that wasn't helping. But anyways, throughout the day, it did get better. We were doing topics like, I can show you, for example, like one of the guides that they teach you a guide, or they send you these different guides, and each day you have like a daily plan, and it tells you which book you get. For instance, this is the I Am Special book. This is the first book that we used this week. And I Am Special guide has all the different subjects: math, science, social studies, art, music, stuff like that. So for instance, let me show you what it looks like, just to give you an example. So for instance, language arts, let's do. So language arts looks like this. This is an example. And each overview, it's either going to be online or offline. For instance, this one was all offline. So they would tell you, they go by different modules. This is module 1. And they'll tell you, for instance, this one, my name, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do. And it'll tell you the different vocabulary that you're going to use, and it'll tell you the different materials that you will need. Some materials K12 sent you, for instance, here's some like uppercase like letters that they sent us. This is just an example. But everything that you might have to do, you might need, is not always in that, in the box that they sent you. So some things, like for instance, we needed like noodles, like, because we had to make like a noodle necklace. So we had to get like some hard like noodles with the holes in it, so you're able to string it with some string. Things like we needed sandwich bags to make puppets. Like, there's different things that you will need, and if you like look, it'll tell you like your daily plan, your weekly plan, and you can kind of like skip ahead and kind of see what materials you will need, because they'll tell you materials of the day, and they'll tell you what materials you need for each subject. For instance, this first one, you need a ball, small crayons, index cards, markers, newsprint, paper bags, and string. So it'll let you know what materials you need for each subject. Now the different subjects, I want to make sure that I get them all done, or the different subjects that the different subjects that for the K12 program is the Embark plus math. You have the Embark plus free reading and journal writing, Embark plus language arts, Embark plus science, Embark plus social studies, Embark plus art, Embark plus music, and Embark plus tools exploration. So these are the different like lessons. I don't know if you can see it. The different lessons that you'll do a day. Sometimes you'll have 4 of these lessons you would do. Sometimes you'll have 5. It just depends. So far we've had either between 4 or 5 this week. So each lesson, for instance, this one, it has 3 different parts. And they're about 10, so that's about 40 minutes. So that'll be 40 minutes for your language arts. They tell you to do module 1 and they'll tell you like name it, whatever it's called. Just make sure that it says what it tells you to, and you can look through the guide and it will also tell you on the K12 website. It's called the OLS. That's where you will sign in and see what you have to do for that day. So the first day we ended up doing more than what we were supposed to do, I noticed, because while throughout the week we noticed that there were things they asked us to do that we already did, which I made my son do anyways, just like a refresher. But just make sure that you plan ahead, if possible, the same day after you're done with your child or your children when you're teaching. Look ahead and see, okay, what materials will I need, what handouts will I need, because sometimes it'll require you to print out a handout, and some of the handouts will be in the back. So for instance, like this, tracing letter A, letter M. So a lot of the times they'll have like, in the back. So you just make a copy, for your son or your daughter. So the first week was bad, but then as it went on and kind of getting the, just understanding of how everything works, it wasn't bad. As far as like the online, because sometimes they'll ask you to do offline things and they'll tell you, and sometimes they'll ask you to do online things, and they'll tell you exactly where to go, what's inside the OLS, which is where you go in to set up for attendance, to check everything that needs to be done for that day. You have K-mail, so you'll get to check if you have any kind of messages that you need to check. And when you do the online program, it's called Embark 12, so it will tell you, it'll show you exactly if you need it. You'll go in there and you have your different subjects, your math, your science, whatever it is, and they'll tell you exactly, and there's like a symbol in there to let you know. For instance, the math symbol is like a 1, 2, 3. So you'll know if you need math, you click on that one, and then if it's module 1, module 2, you'll click on module 1 or module 2, and then it'll have your different tasks of what you're supposed to do. It might be 3, it might be 4, it just 5, 6, it just depends. So far it's only been about 3 to 4 different ones we would have to do. So sometimes we would do science, social studies, math, and maybe like a free reading. What the free reading is, you have to read to your child for 15 minutes, and it has a reading list, it'll tell you, and it also, they send you books as well. So you have your reading list and you read to your child for 15 minutes, and if your child is able to write, you can have your child write out, what the book was about, or your child can just draw. It just depends on how far your child is in, writing and knowing how to write. So it hasn't been bad. Like I said, the first day was bad. I was like ready to be like, you're going to public school. So, but it wasn't bad. So far it hasn't been bad. As the day, has gone, as the days have gone, like this week we only did it for 4 days because he didn't start until Tuesday. And then next week there's a holiday on Monday, so it'll be a 4-day as well. So it hasn't been that bad, but like I said, I'm going to just be doing like weekly, letting you guys know what's going on in the K12 program. And I don't know if I mentioned, but he is in the Cava program, which is the California Virtual Academy. When you go on to K12 and you're trying to enroll, they will ask you where you live. So each school is different depending on what state you live in. I chose the Cava one, and I think there were 3 other ones, if I'm not mistaken, for California. So it wasn't, it's just getting used to it. If you're a first time, homeschool mom, just take it step by step. Just take your time. And if your child is kind of not really wanting to do anything, just make sure you take breaks, because I realized the first day I was trying to get everything done, and that's not the right way to do it. You want to take breaks, give your child a break. Make sure you get him some breakfast, which I did. and like little snacks in between. Give them little breaks, 15-minute breaks, 10-minute breaks here, just to, you know, give them some time to relax from the stuff, because 4-year-olds attention span is it's not long. So just make sure you just take your time and make sure you get everything ready ahead of time. It's much easier. If you need materials, get those materials, put them to the side. If you need handouts, print out those handouts. So everything will go through. And however, depending on how you want to structure it, you might want to do math first, you might want to do social studies. You don't have to follow exactly how they tell you to do it, as long as you know, make sure you hit everything. And it'll tell you, it'll have like a green check mark letting you know that you finished it. And you want to make sure that you do their attendance as well, because you have to do attendance in there. And, you know, make sure you click on the attendance. And everything is explained within K12. They have, you know, like little tutorials. I'll show you how to do everything. And just make sure you're not in my situation where you end up doing more than what you're supposed to do for that day. And I think that had another reason why I was kind of overwhelmed, because I felt like we were doing so much that day, and we were doing it all day, and we ended up doing more than we were supposed to. But just make sure that within side that you just go through everything and make sure everything matches up. You know, if it's I can sort, make sure that you just do these 3 things, and not, because I was doing like module 2, module 3, like I did like a couple of modules when I was supposed to do only like whatever module they tell you to do. So just make sure you go in there and understand everything. But it worked out, because some of the days we already did that, so it was just like an overview. We didn't really have to do the whole thing, and he understood everything. So we're just doing, you know, what we can do, and just take your time. Everybody's going to be different depending on if you have 3 or 4 children. I have my son, but then I do have 2 stepsons, but they're in public school, so I don't really have to worry about them. I just have to worry about just, you know, my son. So yeah, it's overwhelming, but don't give up and just do your best. I mean, if you find out, you know, this is something that you probably don't want to do, just give it a try for a year and see how it works out. And then, you know, maybe you just do it for a year and then have your child go to, you know, public school or private school or whatever you depend on, or you decide on. So I just want to come on here and just show you guys kind of my experience throughout the week, the different subjects that K12 covers, and just week by week it's going to be different. And just don't give up. It's very overwhelming at first, like I said, if you're a first time homeschool mom, but you'll get through it, and just keep going. And you're doing this for your child. You're able to give your child that individual, you know, time without having to worry about other kids in the class, or your child has to worry about other kids or disrupting him. He has that quiet time with just you or your husband or whoever's teaching your child. So I just hope you guys enjoy this video. And if you have any questions about the K12, you can leave them down in the comments below. If there's something that you want to know about, I can also talk about that in the video. And I hope you guys have a blessed week, and I hope that I covered everything, and I hope, you know, this is informative for you guys. So I also do other videos, so you can check out my other videos. I do freebie videos and stuff like that, so, and vlogs as well. So if you're interested, you can just check out my videos and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Once again, this is week 1 of the K12 program, which is a public school online program, homeschool program. And my son is in Transitional Kindergarten, and it is for the Cava K12 for my son, which one is he's involved in. So I hope you guys have a blessed day, and take care. Bye-bye. God bless.